Talk to corporate.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Maximilian Moreau, and with me are Phil and Jeffrey. It's great. Everyone's here. Hi, everyone. Well, I mean, I was so alone last time. Phil's giving me a look now. He's not even going to say anything. He might not be here, and I could just be lying, because he's just sitting here pretending... God, that's a creepy face. All right, so... and he's here. I have proven it. Didn't take long. So...
CAPTCHA.
Yes, so, what we're doing... Shooting gallery. So, on our last episode, we switched to a node-based system.
Shooting gallery.
We have these little node things, and we put them where we want the player. And then the player goes to the next node when we tell it to go to the next node. And the way he faces at that node is based on the facing of the node. So we're using the rotational information to determine the final facing.
The rotation of the node that he goes
to
determines the final facing on that node, and then when he shoots the targets, he rotates toward the next node.
And moves towards it, yes. So, in practice, looks kind of like what we had before with animation, except for now we don't have an animation driving it. So, there's advantages and disadvantages. If you have a lot of artists on your team, go with the animation setup. I guarantee you'll get better results because your artists will tweak things and make things look beautiful.
Yes.
If you are doing this like we are, probably the node thing. Like if you're just making a game, or if you want to have an editor in the game, like if you that's another thing. We should do that on our show sometime. We should do an in-game editor sometime because it's actually not hard to expose a lot of useful functionality for that.
Yeah, a lot of the useful hooks in the game.
Depends on the game that you're making.
It does.
It does.
Simpler is easier always.
We'll design our game based on
I'm just
the
gonna
fact that we want to make an editor.
Say that,
Yes.
that maybe if you were to try to do an editor in a game like, I don't know, complex AI behaving game like Shadow of Mordor,
I just
would probably be very difficult.
realized something. I am curious about something now. I think we could actually loop these nodes because of the way we set this up. Like, you could literally have an endless hallway type thing because we can have the final node reference the first node.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, let's do that right now.
Yeah, we should.
Just to see if it works. I just for the curiosity. So we want this not to link to itself. We want to link it to the first one. This is going to look awful because we're going to just teleport through null space there. And we're going to need one more thing to shoot at.
Teleport through null space.
So I want room 2 enemies.
That sounds like a name of a game. Teleporting through null space.
I'm just going to duplicate room 2 enemies, and we're just going to sit them...
So
where are my room?
The targets are going to be gone.
3
though,
enemies.
so.
Does anyone know why
more.
I can't just have the chat instead of the chat with the video on YouTube
It's
anymore?
because YouTube sucks now. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Because I want that.
No, I want it too.
I want
but
that
it's
functionality.
Not happening.
Unfortunately, now I have this window of the video here, but I don't need to watch the video because I'm experiencing the video in real life.
Alright, so just need to get this over so that we can shoot at them.
So...
Oh yeah, I see. The targets the second time through are not going to be around, so that's what you were... And that is true.
Yes, that is true. But
let's just try this. I just want to see if it loops just once
make
anyway.
some activation to
Did
make
we
them
have
come
to-
back.
Yeah.
Did we have to link those targets to the node in some way? I don't remember.
Nope. It just calls a next node, is what it calls, so... So if we kill those, which also means that technically if I shoot at our other node bank here, like if I manage to lob it over those things and kill the other ones, it would also go. So...
What do you mean, it's checking 3 targets at a time or something?
Well, it just checks if the children of this thing advance on no children.
Okay.
So it would actually advance.
Woo!
Oh no.
There we go.
This
Expected
hurts.
behavior.
It hurts! It hurts!
And then we're back.
Does it
Cool.
just keep going though now?
So, well, it
because
would
never
if we
gets
had
the
more
message
things
of
to shoot, but we
advance.
don't.
No children.
So,
But if it's set to advance on no children, there's no children. Shouldn't it just keep going through?
I'm going to save this. So we got shooting gallery. Let's create a new scene.
So what stops it?
So,
What stopped
What
it?
stopped
I think
what?
it actually is receiving a signal once that parent object receives no children. It sends out a signal. Is that correct?
yeah, all it does is it sends advance here.
Yeah,
and
so-
here's our level. Well, actually, sorry, it doesn't send advance. This is what it did when we were doing the animation system. But what it does is it sends
It basically calls
move to
the
next node on player node movement.
So that makes sense.
And
because
then player node movement is what actually or node movement just is what handles this. So we just get rid of that. It does all this magic. So
where was the call to that?
the call to that is on advanced and no children. Player node movement dot move to next node.
object.
So we just do
Go back to
move
that.
to next node. What?
I'm trying to find out why it doesn't just keep going through all of the nodes since there's no children.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point because the transform count is greater than or less than or equal to 0.
This is it.
Oh, because it destroys.
Because it destroys itself. It stops doing the logic. So we actually had to add that to solve it. We had the choice at the time to either add destroy a game object or make it so that this thing doesn't
It's
has like a
evaluating.
boolean or something. Because it was constantly evaluating at one point, and we were like, "What's going on?" And then we're like, "Oh, that's what's going on. That makes sense."
That does
So-
make sense.
New scene, clean slate. So, create a new scene. We're going to do some stuff that's not the norm that what we usually do on this type of show. We're going to play around with some asset packs. We're going to see what we can do.
Nothing to do with this.
Okay, well, whatever. That was an in-joke if I've ever heard one.
Though he is
Though I
brilliant.
do love Norm.
Who doesn't?
So,
Who doesn't? That's the real question.
So, I'm going to go ahead and give this level a name. We're going to call this, I'm going to call it Fancy Level. And it may not actually end up
What
being
does that
fancy.
imply about the other level?
Well, it's definitely not fancy. It's a shooting gallery. It's
charming.
very unfancy.
It's charming.
Is it charming? Hold on. I want to see this charming level. Is this? There's a little bit of charm to
There's
it.
some charm.
There's a little bit of charm.
There's some charm.
All right, fair enough. It's charming. But this one's fancy.
You should rename it to Charming
So
Shooting Gallery.
no, I'm not doing that.
No,
so
we aren't.
asset
We're
store.
gonna get confused later.
Yeah, where was the charming
Where's
one?
that charming level?
I can't find the charming level. All right, so we pre-downloaded these things, but I want to show you where they're actually at in the store, at least as of right
Is there
now.
a rage face
So-
on that ad?
There might be. I don't know. Did they
On the
license
24
it?
hours deal?
Yeah, there's a rage face there.
Why?
I don't know, because they Reddit and 4chan. 3D models, environments. So in the industrial section, in the top free, we found this FPS hangar, and we're using this one. That's one of the things that we're going to be using. And then on the just environments in general, top free, we also got... Actually, I need to actually import them anyway, so let's do it. So industrial, go to this one, so we're going to see it. FPS hangar. And it'll say download for you guys because it's free, but we're going to actually import because we already downloaded it because we didn't want to spend download bandwidth while we're doing the show. As I say, I keep this close. So I'm just going to import with the default settings there.
Yeah, I try not to use very much internets while I'm here, but unfortunately YouTube doesn't want
Yeah,
to
YouTube
help
wants
me
to
with that
stream this show to you
right now because
Yeah.
I can't chat
Yeah.
otherwise.
Hopefully it's not causing too many issues. So
I wouldn't think it is. I mean, technically the upload and download stream should be...
ooh, wow, look at that CPU spike. Hopefully that's not causing any issues.
That would probably cause more issues than the stream.
Yeah. Unity's using only 400% of my CPU. Sweet.
Only 400%?
Yeah, there's still another 400% to go because computers. So,
Computers are crazy.
that's the number of CPUs it's using, I guess. It's not
400?
Yeah, no, not for. Yes. Wow, this still takes a long time just for the importing. I guess I should have pre-done this. So while this is going,
we could
we look. We can't look at our
talk for a
charming.
little-
Yeah, we can't look at our
we
charming
can't do
level.
anything. We just sit here and play the bar game.
Here, let's see if there's anything that I could go over as to how our thing
Mono
works.
develop.
Snake isn't part of this project. So yeah, I think we already kind of went through what this stuff is doing.
With the mono develop. What are all the scripts that we have? Are these them?
Are
This can't
those
be
they?
Are these them their scripts that we were doing the things on?
Yeah. Yes. So these two scripts are scripts that we have. Maybe I can look at the whole project here. Can I? How do I?
Well, I mean, you could
window-
theoretically just open individual files.
Oh yeah, I
I
could
wonder
do
if
it
you
that
can right-click on those, I think, and open the directory.
folder. Yeah, I guess we can just do that and then drag them in or something. So we have. I'm just going to grab all of our code
Okay,
so
now,
far.
those files are really meta.
Yes, they are.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. all
I'm so
sorts of
meta.
dumb
Even this
stuff.
acronym.
Oh.
Of course, I can't take credit for that. So that's XKCD.
Did that say solution failed?
No, it says loaded.
Oh, it says
but
loaded. Okay, I was like, what?
Evidently, I can't just. Maybe I can do that. Oh,
Oh, they need to be up there.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, we got advanced with no children, which just moves to the next node. Node movement, which is our most complex script, which is how we move to the nodes. Node, which is one of our least complex scripts. As a matter of fact, it technically doesn't have to have any of this. It just needs this. That's really all we use.
It just needs
this
to
is
know
just so that we can see the lines between them.
It needs to know where the next node
Gibbon
is.
Collide, we've written this every single project because it's so useful. But in this case, it just destroys the object and instantiates a gib. And actually, I usually put the instantiate above it because I fear putting things after destroy. But it always works because this actually happens at the end of the frame. And shoot at click position. This is our fancy thing that shoots out the balls. It's the ball launcher. So. And none of this is particularly difficult. This one is the most complex, and all it does is it just has a bunch of tweening, basically.
Yay, tweening.
It uses rotate towards and then movement speed, and then the fanciest thing it does is a dot product to determine if you've arrived at your final location.
I have a question.
Sure thing.
Is there any real reason to use a slurp in a game like this?
Spherical linear interpolation? Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, like...
You could theoretically,
have used
use it for going around corners.
We could have used it for a rotate. We could have used it instead of look rotation.
Oh, that would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, or rotate towards, rather. But in this case, it worked out.
That
well
would be
to
actually
rotate
kind of
towards.
cool to go around like the corners, like the edge of a circle. Kind
Oh,
of
like actually,
like a spherical
yeah, we can do that. I mean, like, yeah,
motion.
that's,
I mean, that would be typically a slurp, right? A spherical.
Yeah. I honestly haven't used too many slurps in projects, and it's not because they're not useful. It's just that, like, for whatever reason,
I don't use them very often either. I was just thinking about it because I like saying slurp.
All right, so that import's done.
We use them in
I
that
fear
space
doing
scene.
more importing now, just because I really thought that was going to take less time. So, and this next thing I was going to import was like a whole city.
Okay.
It's a Japanese otaku city.
I was talking about a space
Let's just start
scene
with
where
that
we
one
did
pack
play
for now.
Habit.
Let's do one pack a day.
Did you use slurp in a space scene
Oh,
in
did
the
we
show
use
or
it?
something?
No, I think you're right. Never mind.
Did we use slurp on the show? I don't think
I
we've
just
ever
like
used
saying
on the
slurp.
show. Yeah, slurp is hilarious. All right, so we got this FPS hanger thing.
Exactly.
And it goes with the demo scene. Let's actually look at our demo scene. We're going to go... actually, we might not even need to do a fancy scene, I guess.
Don't say...
Save.
I'm so confused.
All right, so let's hit play and see what we got
It's a
there.
factory.
I'm just curious what they have in there. Oh, wow,
Holy
it's
moly.
like all fancy. See, this is a fancy scene. Fancy level.
This we can do. There's
We
so
can
many
even just
activities
continue their
here.
starting animation and move it into a player at the end.
Yeah, we could. We could just at the very end, just like, and then you're ready to go. All right, let's. This actually, let's work with their level.
seems
This
like
is
it's
better
gonna be
than our
very
level.
competent.
This is better than our level. So I'm going to. We're
Just by a little
co-opting
bit.
theirs. So
Just by a little bit. Our level's pretty...
No,
I'm just saying that the level I was going to build with these components, they already built one. Why would I spend all this time doing that?
Here's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
This level, not nearly the amount of charm as our level.
I know, ours was so charming.
I know.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty charming.
We
This
should
this
rename
level.
this to Not So Charming Hangar Level.
So wait, it has a first-person controller on here.
Just so we
Not
keep
so
things...
charming.
Just so we keep things nice and clear.
I think the level itself looks actually very good. I will say that this would suit the needs of this type of game fairly well. So
All right, I'm just going to delete this Hangar Wanderer and turn on this first-person controller, and then I think we can just drive around. Yep,
I like that
there we
it
go.
has the, and there's like an explosive barrel in the tower.
So this
We
looks
can
like
have
a
one of the-
pretty cool little pack. And
We can have
so
one of the nodes look up at the tower and
Yeah.
shoot it and then move on.
if we look at these things,
that'd be awesome.
each of these things is a separate thing. We can move it and do things with it, and
They've
It's all
got
cool.
the stuff with the things.
I just
Oh no! Did you
hit
kill
undo
it?
and
Did you kill it?
Just
Okay,
murdered
you
my
didn't. You
computer.
didn't.
One more undo.
Why
I
would-
think
okay.
it has to do with okay. So all these objects, and rightfully so, are marked as static. This is something we haven't talked about on the show too much. But if you mark objects as static, well, actually, this is not entirely true because I think static backmachine is not available on Unity Basic.
But in Pro,
In Pro, it is, and it's really nice because it means that anything that you know doesn't move in the level basically becomes one object and one draw call automatically. Like
You're
that's
kidding
what it
me.
does.
That's
and
very
and it's
powerful.
super nice. It's super nice. But you can't move it at all. Like it will mess everything up because it's sharing texture space with everything and it's like combining the materials
So
and doing all
if
sorts
you
of cool stuff.
uncheck it static and then move something and check it static again,
You
does it
cannot.
reevaluate?
Well, I mean, you can in the editor, yes, but you can't.
Not
there's
real-time,
no
of
real time
course.
changing of this.
Oh
value,
no,
so.
no, I'm sorry. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to imply that.
Yeah.
I meant in the editor.
So, yeah, we've got a hanger. So, actually, since we already have a hanger, let's node this level up. Let's use what we already have and make a quick little playthrough here. So, what looks like
we
a good starting point?
Just do the node. Oh yeah, we have the next node thing. I was thinking about my node clicky thing.
Yeah. Your node click thing. You're proud of that, and you should
I
be. Because
really
it was
like
awesome.
that thing. Except
right.
I'm not happy.
This looks like
with
a good
the
starting
thing.
point. What's behind what? The wall's right behind me there. Hold on. Oh, God, it's so hard to figure out where we're rotating around.
Switch to
There we go.
non-perspective so you can rotate in place.
You want ISO? That doesn't really help us
ISO.
too much.
Or
No, I don't like that.
oh no, it is perspective that you rotate in place, but you were rotating around.
Yeah, if you're focused on an object, and I don't know how to unfocus on an object.
Other than clicking out of the object.
If you click out of the object, though, it... Oh, yeah, if you... Oh, sorry, I'm using the wrong key command. It's if you right-click... There we go. If I right-click, I can just look around. There we go. That was the problem. I was using the option click / alt click. So what I'm going to do... My proposal is we're going to throw it... we're going to start our noding right back here.
Let me see. Let me look.
So like right behind this cover here.
Let me see.
I'm just going to start a node right there. I'm just going to throw it.
So-
I'm just going to throw a node.
So
So prefab's what?
this is your proposal?
Oh wait, I don't need a prefab. Wait, what do I do?
I would
Oh,
not
I didn't
call
make a
this
prefab for those yet? That's funny.
the nodes.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm
No,
going to do that real
apparently
quick.
not.
Well, let's go to the shooting gallery real quick.
So I would say that this proposal that you are proposing right now is a decent proposal,
Okay.
not an indecent proposal.
All
I
right.
second that proposal of the proposal being a decent proposal.
And not an indecent
And not
proposal?
an indecent
okay,
proposal.
good. I'm glad to know that we're both on the same page here. So all three of us are now on the same page regarding the said proposal. We all think it's decent.
All
Except
right,
actually
cool.
Max. Max didn't say proposal or not.
I don't know why we're talking about indecent proposals on...
I did not say that it was an indecent proposal. I said it was a decent proposal.
All right. Hanger. Actually, we need our player, too, so let's grab him while we're in here. So player, we're just going to grab this whole thing. We're going to make a prefab out of him. And might as well make a prefab... Okay, we already have Gib target. That's cool. Yeah. And all they use is just advance under the children, and we don't even have to set anything on them. Cool. So let's go to our hanger again. Go ahead and save. Sure, whatever. I didn't really think I had changed much, but maybe we had... I need to zoom out so that we're not totally owned here, and I just want to find something in the level that's near somewhere.
Maybe you should turn off that outer.
Yeah, just take the outer thing out. Just
For now.
get rid of this
Just for now.
hanger for now. Oh, well, that was
What?
everything.
You killed the
Oh,
hanger?
because it's static.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hanger is actually the whole hanger. I think it's probably reevaluating the whole.
Yeah, so if I
static
click it twice,
situation.
though, we can just get rid of the hanger. There we go.
But I want the hanger.
I'll need it later.
We need to unhide it.
You just need to hide it.
Undo.
Because we're going to be at ground
Fine.
level.
Fine.
Fine. Okay.
All right, so here's our level, and so we're gonna put a node. I'm gonna start the player here, and so we're just going to drag out a node, and then we're going to, and it stuck it to the floor. That's nice of it. So, but if you hold Shift,
Yeah.
what are the magic buttons?
Yeah. Why does my phone hate me? It hates me. Sorry.
Is your phone making?
No, it just hates me.
Okay.
Yeah, normal stuff for a phone. Actually, I don't think the phone actually has a vendetta against my person.
Oh, there we go. So you hold... Okay, so the way you lock things to the ground, and I have to figure this out every time for whatever reason, you hold Command and Shift, and then you click. and then it will attach to. It'll basically raycast out and wherever you place it,
Hey, it's
so
just
it'll
like,
attach to walls and stuff.
It's just like opening up an incognito tab.
Yes, it is just like opening up an incognito tab. Thank you for your astute observation, Phil. All right, so we're gonna rotate this thing around. That's gonna be our starting position, and we're gonna put our player. So I'm just going to grab our player, and we're gonna find our node. We're gonna call this node 1, and we're going to copy the component, and we're gonna paste component values here. And now we have our player, which is just basically a camera. If we hit play, our player will be there. He's there. And we're in an open air market that just happens to look like a warehouse.
You know what this looks like? An open world game, because the world is open to you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm full of the puns.
Go
tonight.
anywhere.
I'm full of the puns.
Oh, that's actually kind of a cool smoke effect. Is
I
that actually
do
around
actually
the player?
like that.
Where is that coming from?
Dust storm particles.
Oh, they have it like in the whole level.
Oh, wow.
That's not a great way of doing it. But
Interesting.
it is a way of doing it.
It is a way. Yes.
I highly recommend that if you set up particle systems that for like environmental stuff, you want them to emit in world and follow the player, and that way you don't have to render particles that are far away.
Yeah.
So, really common practice too. If you look at most video games, that's actually how they do it. So, so we got one. We're going to now just duplicate this node. Duplicate. Oh, it already did it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, I'm going to put all the nodes down here if that's what they want to live. So, node 2, node 3. We're just going to start noding some things. So we're going to put a node here. Actually, this should be node 2. Node 2, we want to go over here. And then we'll have like one short encounter there, and then we'll do node 3, and we'll move it through to kind of take partial cover, not really good cover on that door. And then let's just node something else, node, next node.
Did you say nerd?
Did you say nerd?
We can't ask people what game that's from because we already did that last week.
Yeah, I know. And this one will rotate 90 degrees to the right. And shoot one guy in the window, and then advance to node 4. Node 5.
This is like playing Die Hard.
Yeah, this is like that
2 on
crazy
my-
editor thing
Yeah.
that you had in that game. That's awesome.
I want one of the nodes to face up at the tower.
On Die Hard Trilogy. Yeah, one of the nodes should face up at the tower, I agree. So it needs to point towards the tower tower node?
Okay, so where's the
node
tower?
will face the tower, and then
Needs to point towards the tower? No?
the tower is.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where the tower is. All right, let's
So
note it
should
out to
point-
that.
It should...
If we have a goal, I want that goal in there. So
Are you saying it should look at the tower node? It should just look right at that tower node.
I see what you're doing there.
I didn't. So I guess I missed something.
Well, you could look real quick. It points at the
Oh,
tower
yeah.
node.
You're so funny, Phil.
Thank you.
You're so funny.
Thank you.
And let's just see what happens if we just add a
The node just
rotation.
faces the tower, like
Negative
the Z faces
45.
The Z faces up.
So we're gonna see if we can break things as badly as we possibly can. So so let's node these up. So we've got these nodes. We have to connect them. So
Do one more node after it to
Node
face
2.
it back in a normal direction, and have
I would
it move
agree,
somewhere else.
actually.
we'll do more in a second. Wait, what did you ask? Wait, what did you say?
So we want to look at the tower, but then move to somewhere else that's not the tower.
So you look at the
on
tower.
next
There's a
one.
target up there. You
Yeah.
shoot it, and then it looks back to something
Sounds
else,
like we
and you
need
move
another
on.
variable.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we could have look node, and specify what node to look at and what node to move to.
Yeah, but it already knows what. You'll see. We've already got it set
Yeah,
up. It's done.
Oh, did we
It's
do
ready.
that already?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm too
Where
fast.
was I?
It looks in the Z direction.
You were
of the
sitting
node
right
that you're
there,
At.
yeah.
It's not. It doesn't look at a node, but the
But I
Z
want-
direction tells it where to look.
But I
3.
wanted to look at
This
this.
should be 4.
I don't know.
This should be 5.
I feel like my whole life's a lie.
And this should be 6. So now if we do node. So now if we look top down, we can see our handiwork, and it looks right. We have our path from the beginning of the level to some portion in the level. This is not final. What I did on this last node, just to see how badly it breaks things, is I put a rotation on the X so that it looks up at the tower. We'll see what that actually does. I don't think it's going to look right because it's going to be as if you leaned back from your feet. But so we may have to have look nodes, like you said. But I'm just curious. I just want to see how this does first. So now we need to actually have something that will advance us. So we need to have some targets. So I'm just going to use our targets that we've already got here. I'm going to create a... Yeah, I'm not going to open up that can of worms. I was like, we could just parent to the node the enemies. I'm like, I don't want to create that potential problem. We delete a node, and then it's like, wait, I liked that node. So we're going to call this node 1 enemies. I'm going to go ahead and put it... let's put it in the same place as node 1, though. So let's just copy component and paste component values. And then we're going to put in a gib target here. Oops. Gib target here. There we go. Wow, that target's way bigger than I realized. Like, it looks really big now when we have a scene that actually kind of shows what we're making.
The target's not bigger than I realized. The warehouse is just smaller than
Oh yeah,
I
maybe
realized.
that's true too.
Oh, it's a tiny warehouse. How small it is! It's so cute.
Adorable.
It is actually fairly small, that warehouse, isn't it?
What's the adjective we were using to describe the other scene?
Charming.
Yeah. I think that the
Okay, with the big
little-
targets,
Okay,
this
so-
is much more charming, actually. Because
Yes.
it's so tiny. You know, the levels,
Yeah,
little tiny.
little
So it's
tiny
kind of
warehouses.
charming. It's like a miniature level.
Alright, so I'm going to move this into the scene somewhere. Oh, we've got like real-time shadows and stuff. That probably is Unity Pro, so ignore the shadows.
Ignore me!
Yeah, that's cool, though.
That is actually really
I've never actually bothered playing with the shadow system. It's funny, so...
Oh, that would have been like... If I had Pro, that would be the first thing I checked. I loved shadows.
Alright, so we're going to hide
Always
one of
liked
these
shadow.
kind of behind this wall. We're going to pretend that they're dudes. They're, like, peeking out. And we're going to duplicate this. And good, it became a child. That's awesome. And we're just going to hide another one back here. So now if we go to the game, yeah, look, they're like hiding. And so then we're going to attach the script. What is it called? Advance on no children. And our player node movement will be to node... Oh, wait, I don't have to give it anything. This we put on there just in case we wanted to reference something that's not the player. If we don't reference it,
Yeah.
it automatically fills it in with the player. So...
Loki Olker. Loki Oler? Loki Oler. Said,
What is this?
A warehouse for ants? Which
so
is,
good, yeah.
by the way...
Zoolander.
Yeah, Zoolander.
Good old Zoolander.
That's actually a pretty funny movie. It's so dumb.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
did
funny.
not believe that it was going to be funny, and then I watched it, and it was very funny. So, I was happy with that. So, node 2 enemies. So, node 2, we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it at...
What is this, a warehouse for ants? How can you expect children to learn to read good if they can't even fit inside the building?
This person, Cinecat Pro, is just
He's
getting a please
absolutely
stand by
right.
message. Let me make sure I'm actually seeing stuff on this feed. I'm going to refresh real quick, see what I can see. Okay?
Okay.
So if you hear us talking twice, that's why.
Or if things chop up, that's why.
Yeah, it's just saying it's lagging a bit every few seconds. It's getting better. And Loki Olker, or Loki Oler. Is that how you say your name? Is it Loki Oler?
Loki.
Spell it out phonetically in the comments using the phonetic alphabet. I cannot read the phonetic alphabet.
Yeah, you
Please
can,
do not
can
do
you?
that. Just
Spell it out using existing words
Yes.
like low, L-O-W, key, K-E-Y.
well,
All right, so
yeah, you
let's
can do that. That would help. And then
let's
I
test
will
this out
save.
so far. So I hit play,
All right.
and we go bam,
Badoo,
bam,
badoo. I like.
and
the
no
little
reference
physics.
exception.
Oh, right away. The low.
So
the reference.
what happened? Node 2, node 3, what happened? No reference exception. Node movement. Where did it happen? On what line? Line 12?
Does player is there a tag or? Oh, you prefabbed it, so that should be correct.
Mm-hmm. So object. Let's try this again. All these yellow reference script on this behavior is not ours. That's from something else. Oh, and it's just continually doing it. So we do move to next node. Current node equals current node.next node. Oh, that's why we didn't actually set. Okay, so in the player, we don't automatically do this. We need to set current node to the first node. Bam. There. Now this will work. So if we hit play and we shoot this thing and shoot that thing, there we go. We're advancing. We're advancing. And then there's that guy peeking over there. He's like,
I'm a sneaky
got him.
target.
And then we're at this next phase, and so we'll have to put some more targets in. But that's working so far.
That was a
Got these
sneaky
gigantic
target.
balls that we're shooting and have like all HDR rendering and stuff. Like what is
That does have some high dynamic. Oh,
like what are we? Do we have some post process effects? Is there
I
some
don't
craziness
know.
going on?
There seems to be a little.
I thought I deleted the
craziness.
camera. So what? Oh, real time light. Oh, I guess it's a lot of real time lights. Wow, that is a lot of lights. That is a whole lot of lights.
How many lights?
They claim this is for mobile, but you don't want that many lights on mobile.
Oh,
I'm going
God,
to tell you
no.
that right now. So you
No,
might.
not
I
at
don't know.
all.
In certain situations, like the thing is, on mobile, you're typically only going to get one pixel shader light, so it'll be whatever the Unity deems the most important. So
may
which
be
is probably the
actually what it's
closest one.
doing.
Which yeah, exactly. But yeah, cool. That's why it looks so funky when we shoot things.
What if
So-
you turn off the lights? Did they bake them in? The shadows?
The shadows are baked, so if we turn off all the lights right now, we'll keep the shadow
Okay,
stuff.
cool.
And the shadow baking, that actually is in Unity Basic, I think. So if you want non-real time, you can actually get the shadows baked. I could be wrong about that, though. So if I am, I'm sorry. I try not to show pro features on the show for the most part.
Oh.
Whatever pro features we're using here just happen to be in this pack, and I'm sure that this pack will still work for you if you don't have pro. Like this is not good. This is a non-issue. So
Just to let you know, it stands for Loki Orange Lounge Radio, which we're giving a shout out for his podcast.
cool, very
So
cool.
it's Loki Orange Lounge Radio or Loki OLR.
I like it.
That makes sense. Thank you for explaining that, because I would have struggled with that for an indefinite amount of time.
All right.
Indefinite.
Copy component.
I would have gone home and wondered about it. That's not a lie.
Wait, node 1 enemies is node 1. Node 2 enemies is node 2.
I would have gotten
node
no sleep.
3 enemies.
None.
Oh, yeah, this is right. So node 3 enemies, we're going to copy component.
Would have been up all night thinking about
Here's
Loki
code values.
OLR.
Instead, you're going to be thinking about.
Orange Lounge Radio? No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be thinking about this.
All right,
Not
so
this at all.
Let's put another gib, target gib.
Oh man. Like maybe I'm just tired
Oh,
or
target
something.
gib is
That's
not what
why
I
I'm
want.
goofy, or it's just how I am.
Gib target is what I want, not target gib. There's a difference, a distinct difference.
Max is the only one that could really answer that question.
What?
How long have I been like this?
Oh, for a good long while now.
As long as you've known me?
At least.
Okay, good.
Probably longer, from what I have heard.
Probably.
So
I've always been a little bit off.
you've always been a little bit on too. So
A little off. Are we putting that in the doorway?
Yep, and then we're gonna duplicate again, and I'm putting these on their nodes. I really don't technically need to do that, and maybe it would even be better if they were just at 000 for all of them. It certainly would save me some time, but I've started that way, so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
I think
what?
that for consistency's sake, that's probably not a bad
It really
idea.
isn't necessary, and if we move the nodes, I'm not going to be moving these things.
Oh, shadow
they will
baking
just
is in
stay.
basic.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I'm just reporting on
With
the
the
chat.
targets? targets are on the nodes because the nodes advance on no children.
Yeah,
Did you
but
say nerd?
no, the targets aren't. No, they're not on the nodes actually because. Well, I mean, I'm placing. So we've got these separate node 1 enemies groups. They're not on the nodes, but I'm putting them where the nodes are, which isn't required, and probably. I mean, we're just using these as groups, so I really should just have done 0, but I'm not changing it for right now, so we can change it later. What are we doing?
Put some random targets out in the distance too that you only have a chance to shoot while you're advancing.
Yeah.
So for a maximum score, you have to keep your eyes open.
Oh yeah, certainly. Like targets of opportunity.
Like
yeah,
one
we should
outside
definitely
the
do
window
that.
as you're moving from a doorway to the next doorway or something.
So this one will be out here. Put it far enough away that we don't see it in the first game view. Perfect. All right, so let's just see how this does so far on the gameplay. So hit play, bam, bam.
I feel like he's gonna ram his head into the wall.
Then I have this tricky shot. Oh, I made it, and then we kill this one. Whoops. Okay,
You
we
have
gotta
to bank
bank
it. You have
it.
to bank it.
Gotta bank it. Oh, maybe it'll roll in there. Come on,
No,
touch it.
No,
touch
no,
it.
No, no,
Touch it.
no, no.
No, it's horrible.
We'll
We'll just fill it with balls.
Aim up.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah!
Got it.
Okay.
And
I
there's
mean, I
our
shouldn't-
target up there, and then we
I
shoot
probably
that,
just
and then we
made the
go.
microphone cut out because I got really
That's
excited
fine.
there.
That's fine.
And,
All right, cool.
that's a
Loki
little couch.
OLR says, "Why not both?" For me being a little bit off and on, I guess.
Fair enough. All right, so our bullet.
I would recommend.
We're gonna solve
I would
this.
recommend moving that node slightly to the left.
No, I would recommend just making this bullet not be gigantic. Like, it's not a beach ball; it's a bullet, right? So let's make it 0.1.
Make it 2.
0.1.
Make it 2. Just real quick for me. Just do it for me. Just
No,
make them huge. Make them
I
huge.
take pleasure in denying you.
Make them huge.
That would.
I just sounded a little too much like Ash. Make them huge. Wowie zowie.
Okay, what did you want to do?
Make it huge.
Make what huge?
The ball. Make it 2.
Make it 2.
Double scale.
But that's worse. That's exacerbating the problem.
On the wall we were getting stuck
I
on,
wanna
let's
see
make
it.
it non-static, and we'll hinge it to the other
Here,
wall.
let's
so
make
you
it
can
as
knock
big
the
as the
wall
targets.
down.
Let's make it 3.
That's too big. That is too big. It can't fit through a doorway when it's 3.
Let's
It can't fit through a doorway at 2, I don't think.
let's make the
Let's find out.
walls non-static.
Did
All right,
you
let's
turn
see if
down
we
the velocity on it?
No, well, actually, so that's where physics modes come in. So
Physics.
if we go to our player main camera, we'll notice that they have the shoot at click position. We have a force mode, and we're using velocity change, so that really shouldn't have affected it.
That is fantastic.
Are we actually using the force mode, or did we just deny that? Hold on. Shoot at click position. No, we give it force mode. I would have expected that to have the same velocity no matter how big it was, but maybe it does. It just doesn't feel right because it's gigantic. Oh, it was hitting the wall. That's what happened.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense. See, I was
Yeah,
confused.
and I will never be able to shoot. Well, okay, that works.
You were
Doesn't fit through the door.
Okay, it
We
does
should
not
make the
fit through
doors
door.
non-static and put them on hinges so the big balls can knock them down.
Those
How-
I killed one of the
How?
other ones.
How?
I killed one of the other ones. And then, yeah! How many balls do we have in this arena right now? They're just rolling around. We should add a ball cam.
Ball cam.
Let's add a ball cam.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so let's...
So we can see like the whole bullet time thing.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We
Bullet
should
kill
detect
cam.
how close it is and put a time scale on there so it slows down right before the impact.
Or we can raycast, and every once in a while when it's going to hit the thing, we'll
It
just
just
show the
does
entire...
Like Max
Shot.
Payne style. Yeah.
All right, we're going to have some fun camera work ahead of us on this one. it sounds
Yeah!
like. So,
Let's do that now.
I'm sorry, I get really excited about things
Right now.
like that.
I do have some time slow stuff that we could pull from Breakfast with Unity.
I really, really like doing things like that. I think they're kind of dumb, but they're kind of cool.
No, they're really cool. I think that it warrants checking out. I'm not sure if
Should we get to the tower?
we want to do that in
thing,
20
Yes, let's get to the
seconds.
tower.
Yeah, let's get to the
we
tower.
Can't do
We're
it
so
in 20
close.
Minutes.
We're so close.
We need to just continue. Let's
So-
make the size of those smaller again. Do like maybe 0.5?
I think they can do it in
Point
20
point
minutes.
five. Come on.
0.25.
Point
0.25. 25.
Point five. Point.
It's already way bigger than a
0.5.
bullet. This is so big compared to a bullet. Like this is
It's not
gigantic.
a bullet. You're shooting pool balls at a target.
Yes, this is pool balls. That's where we're at. Here, let's
That
take
looks like a pool ball. It's going fast though.
fast enough that we can go through walls sometimes.
Is that because the physics check just misses that frame?
Yep. So there's ways that we can solve that. We can change the collision thing to continuous dynamic, and let's see if that actually fixes it. We'll just see if that's enough. The other thing we can do is, of course, slow down the ball, which might actually be an appropriate behavior. But
No. They're the best.
this is an appropriate case for
Yeah,
continuous
that's-
dynamic, though, because it's a fast-moving object and it is a
It
dynamic
needs
object,
to
and it works
be
now. So
calculated. Yeah,
so,
it does not pass through the walls, which is great.
So phew.
Cool. So that looks really cool.
all those pool balls.
Yeah. Should make every once in a while a chance of it having an 8-ball.
I like that. All right, so we need some more bad guys. So we're gonna do node 4 enemies. We're just gonna duplicate this. Node 5 enemies, and I am not going to reposition these anymore. I'm just going to position the children. So,
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
delete this. Oh, I guess I didn't need to delete that. I guess I could have kept that. Target gib. No, gib target. And gib target. Where does this thing live? It's probably on top of another one. No, it's not. Okay, there it is. We're gonna go. And we're going to move this one behind this door, rotate it 90, and then that'll bring us to this final node, and then we can do something on the tower. So we're going to go to the tower, and let's put a target on here so that we can pretend that we want to get there. So duplicate node 6 enemies.
We should move that barrel over somewhere we can see it, and then have it so the barrel can cause an explosion that will destroy the target.
That sounds like a good idea.
What was the idea? Sorry, I missed it.
We've got that barrel there. We should move it somewhere and have it so if you shoot that barrel, it creates an explosion that destroys
I like that.
the target.
We'll have
Yeah,
to
I
make
think that's
exploding
really
barrels.
cool.
This is a requirement in games. If it's a barrel, it has to explode, right? So
No.
let's position it.
No, it could be just a physics barrel.
No, screw that.
We could have both kinds of barrels.
We
Boom.
could have it be a
They could
physics
look
barrel
exactly the same.
that can run
Boom.
into the target and
just
destroy it.
just make horribleness for everyone by saying
So we're not
going
gonna
to
shoot this
exploding
first.
barrels and the physics barrels could be exactly
We
the
should
same
make
looking.
our barrel just do something that barrels don't normally do.
Like hop?
You shoot it.
We
and
could have
it-
shot that target up there, actually. See it? Up there.
Oh, I broke it.
Oh, you did break it because you were moving before you.
I wanted to find out what would happen, actually, so that's good to know that we're broken.
So you could also use a raycast to fix it. That collision check, yeah, you could absolutely use a raycast
Yes.
as well if your object is going in an absolute straight line.
And honestly, we probably will switch to a raycast system for... Why is this on? I forgot to turn off some of my things. This should probably be off, too. So, what am I doing? So I'm going to shoot this one. Go to this node, and then we're like, oh, there's that guy. It's in the ground for some reason, whatever. And then we look up, and we totally can't see our target because it's not
That
positioned
wall
nicely.
is in
But
the way.
but you see how it looks really awkward
Yeah, it
because
looks
we just
like-
kind of lean back.
It kind of
so,
is the impression that you're looking actually in an easy chair
yeah.
backwards.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that. So I'm going to actually change it so that we don't have the easy chair problem real quick. I'm going to look at this file node. I'm going to put this back to 0. And I'm going to bring it a little bit closer in. Since we don't have a real physical body, we can really push in as close as we want. So I'm just going to really quickly test up to this point because I want to see what we can see from that point.
I can see everything.
So you can shoot. Boom, 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 and then
We
we
wait.
go over here.
patiently.
Yeah, we wait patiently, and we should address that bug today too because that seems like that should be doable. All right, so we totally could see the target if we were able to look up here. So we need to figure out. We need a separate lookup solution. So let's do that real quick.
Look node.
So look node.
Look node.
So all right, we'll make a look at node type thing. So let's do.
We could actually have like a scripting node system where the node.
So what I'm going to do
I mean, there's a lot of
is
solutions.
I'm going to add to our nodes. We've got a next node. We're going to create a public node, look node. And then the look node.
Is the camera offset from the player position? Player position is at 0 and the camera is...
Yeah, the camera is set up like a first-person controller camera. And what that means is, let's actually go over this because this is important. So our player represents where our feet are, and our camera is where our head is. And so in a first-person shooter, your rotation is you rotate your feet. You actually rotate your feet around. But when you look up and down, you're actually looking at the neck level. You rotate at the head level. Now, in a VR game, it actually is a combination of the two, because like in a VR game, you have your character facing, and then you also have your head facing, which are separate. And so you control... This is completely independent of that. And actually, there's a lot of work that goes into just how your neck bends and how tall you are. And when you set things up on, like, say, the Oculus, you have to set those values for your calibration so that it feels like you're not shorter or taller than yourself. Although that's a fun experience, too, quite frankly. The shorter thing's really trippy, actually.
I bet it is, actually.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have this look node. And in node movement... So what this does is we move between our things. So we should, at this point, also rotate the... So we rotate to goal, and then we move to goal, and then we rotate to goal again. And so So what we want to do is...
So how come we have the camera as part of a player in this game instead of just having the camera?
We could, but then we have to put our nodes at eye level everywhere, and...
But then also, if you wanted the character to be crouching, you could put it at crouching level and the camera would move to the correct position.
You could, yes. Yes, in our case, we'd have to have, like, a crouch animation on the camera, or we'd have to move the camera independently for a crouch, yes. Which, again, I would not want that in the realm of the nodes. Because what if we wanted to have crouch as a command as well? So, like, you could choose to crouch. Like, say, Time Crisis style. I think this is the better way to set it up, quite honestly. But it does add... I mean, it adds some complexity, but it also saves you from some organizational complexity. Quite frankly, having to pay attention to exactly what the... Like, say we... at one point, and we had a node on this thing where he was on the third step up or something. All of a sudden, you're going to have to be like, okay, so
now I'm going to be looking
where
at this.
is that? And so you like drag your object, right? So if we were to just use our current player thing, and we just or node, we just grab a node, we hold Command and Shift, and then we just put it on that staircase, and it'll just be there. It's great like that. See, it's just right where we needed it. But if we do that, if we were to do that with the other thing, we'd have to put an object here, check to see what the height was, add 2 to the height, or whatever the height is of our character.
Mm-hmm.
And so, honestly, this saves you more trouble than it causes. It does mean that we have to separate out certain things like vertical look rotations and our actual character rotation. So, actually, here's what we're going to do. So, we're going to still keep this the same. We're going to keep this exactly the same. But what we want to do is... When do we set the node? Our current node is immediately set. How do I want to do this? I want to do this fancy. So if we do a look node...
I mean, I'd almost say that we need a whole different, like... Trying to think about a good and elegant way of doing this.
Yeah, let's not do this the way that I was setting this up. This is not good.
Because, like, I was thinking about it as an optional look node originally, but then at the same time, we're still going to have to change the rotation of the camera, not the player itself. And
Yeah. How about we just
Do some weirdness,
How about we
but-
do it how about we look at this problem from the other direction? So what I'm going to do is, instead of creating a special system that says, hey, we go to this node and then we look at this location, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a script that fires when we are at a certain node that pulls your attention towards it.
That's fine too. Yeah.
So let's give this a shot. Let's say let's do create C# script.
Oh, Cinecat Pro said that you could use a raycast to do that solution. Of course, raycast into the velocity each frame
Yeah.
to check for collisions.
Yeah.
As well.
Look at
I didn't want you to think that I was forgetting about you. I wasn't. I just saw it.
I'm going to call it Look at Me, which is probably a really bad name for something, but we're going to go with that for right now. Look at Me. And all we're going to do is
Reminds me of the Nintendo DS comic. Touch me.
public float rotation rate. Actually, what did we call it? Let's keep it consistent. We called it in node movement rotation speed. We're going to keep the defaults the same. So we're going to do Look at Me, public float, rotation speed. And what we're going to do is in start, we'll just do this as a one-time thing. Although it has to be a coroutine, so it's not really a one-time thing. So IEnumerator look now is what I'm going to call it. Look who's talking now. And
That
we're going
was
to
a
do
movie.
start. Yeah, it was definitely a movie.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
That was a movie.
So start. We're going to do start coroutine look now.
Is a coroutine different than a cow routine?
Yes, it is. Just like there's a difference between coworkers and cow workers.
Is there really?
Yes, you should read Dad Hacker. So
Do cow workers move?
yes.
I like the
And
coroutine
grays.
should be called Look at Me Now instead of Look Now.
All right, look at me now. How's that? Do you like that better? We just refactored a whole bunch of code for you. I hope you're happy.
I am.
All right, so
Anytime someone refactors a whole bunch of code for me, I'm always happy.
float. So this is going to look very similar to our node movements rotation stuff. I'm just going to grab this as reference for right now. I'm just going to put it below this. We're not going to use it all, but so we're going to use a lot of it though. So if initial rotation, wait. Oh, that's the Boolean. We don't need that. So we don't need initial rotation at all. I'm going to copy this stuff up and get rid of the stuff we don't need. So we don't need this if else thing. And our goal rotation should be goal rotation should be so we need the player somewhere. I'm going to cache him real quick. So public or private transform player. Actually, I'm going to call it private transform player camera. And so player camera equals camera.main.get transform. That's what we need. Camera.main.transform. All right. And so what we're going to do is player camera. Okay, so we want the thing looking at the target. So that would be minus our position. Is player camera dot position. We don't need the transform because it is a transform. And we need this game object, so transform dot position. So that's our goal rotation. And what we want to do is we want to do this little thing here. And that's all we need to do. I'm going to get rid of this other IEnumerator that we don't need now. Hit save. And so what are we doing? So if we do this, and we put, say, on... so this happens on start, so we need to actually enable this somehow. What's the best way that we can do this? So when does the player get to a node? Do we set any...
We don't set anything, I think, once they're...
So yeah, we set current node the moment we start moving.
So we need something to say when we've arrived, right?
Yeah.
We could do that.
This would actually be a really good case for a, not send message, but to do the, I'm not very familiar with them, and we only have 5 minutes. To do delegates. This is a really good case for a delegate.
We should cover that on the next episode.
Yeah. I'm going to write down...
you should write something down regarding this.
We should do a delegate system.
I agree.
For when we arrive at our nodes. Trust me. It will be cool. I should have kept it as trust me, it'll be cool. Trust me, it'll be cool.
Trust me.
All right. Save.
Who wouldn't trust me?
All right.
Who wouldn't trust me?
Let's just test look at me and see if it works.
That guy over there.
I'm just going to put look at me on this final give target here. And in theory, when we start the game, it should jack our camera and look at it.
Just be like, what?
Although it got a null reference exception.
It did get a null reference exception.
I'm assuming that it got a null reference exception. Yeah, it did. Player camera dot position. Player camera equals camera. Did we not tag our camera properly? No, it's tagged as main camera.
You start the coroutine before you get the camera.
Good point. Very good point. Very astute. That was silly of me. Play.
It's okay, I still trust you.
I can't stop trusting you.
Okay, so I did something wrong because it's rotating the wrong thing.
The camera.
So yeah,
The target
we want to
rotated.
actually rotate. We want to rotate
There.
camera. So player camera dot rotation. And we need player camera dot rotation. And then if player camera dot rotation does not equal goal rotation, you'll return null. Actually, I didn't set the final rotation. Well, we'll fix that some other time. So hit play. There we go. We looked at it. So that's good. It's a good sign that it's working. But we only wanted to do that later. I guess, okay, I know what we can do. Haha. I'm going to get fancy. We're going to use scripts that we already have, and we're going to make this work. The way we're going to do it is I'm going to create at node 6. I'm going to create a very small create empty child. We're going to make a component physics box collider. We're going to call it a...
What are empty children exactly?
It just means that you create an empty game object.
I'm kidding. I know exactly what it means. I was just making an empty children joke.
Alright, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change our gib on collide slightly. We're going to do void...
At least empty children always have a parent.
That's true. Unlike those orphan children.
On trigger enter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so it supports both. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to create a void gib now.
I feel bad for those empty orphan children.
Alright, so we're going
Poor
to
empty orphans.
copy gib now, and while I'm here I'm going to reverse these things just because it makes me happy.
Because you would rather destroy
And then
after
we're going to
you
do
instantiate?
gib now and gib now. And then let's also just make it so that these are optional. So public bool, it's called gib on collide, but we'll add a bool called
Ungibbable?
Gib
Forgivable?
on trigger.
Forgivable?
It's okay, I forgive you.
So I'm going to do gib on...
I really like
We need end of line.
Oh, let's just do both as options, whatever. Gib on...
Forgivable.
Collision.
Forgivable.
Your give nows need
And we'll default them both to true.
semicolons.
So, yeah, they do. They absolutely need semicolons. And they also need if gib on trigger. Gib now. if gib on collision, gib now. So there we go. We're gonna hit save, and so we got this box here, and our player doesn't actually have a collider, does he? So we're gonna need to fix that. Let's give him a little collider. So on the player, I'm going to create an empty child, and we're just going to create a box collider for right now. Physics, box collider. This one's going to also need a rigid body. Physics, rigid body, because we're moving the character around. And we set to is kinematic. We don't have to turn off use gravity, but I always do. Just save scene, save project, and then finally...
Edgar says he has the... from the first stage in Virtua Cop 1 in his head right now.
Finally, what we're going to do is we're going to...
That's fantastic. If only we could put Virtua Cop music into this game without Sega just descending upon us in pure madness on YouTube. Wouldn't that be awesome? Put Virtua Cop music in it?
Alright, this is going to be a massive hack, but I'm going to do it, because why not?
You could write yourself a note that says "fix the hack."
Well, this one will be really obvious. So, what we're going to do is we're going to create a prefab.
Additionally, you could make a note that says "hack the planet."
I'm going to have this whole target be part of it. So we're going to call this special gib target. I'm going to create a prefab for it, and then this gib target, it already is in the right position. That's perfect. Oh, yes. There was actually... Oh, it's not in the right position because I didn't actually put node 6 in the right position, did I? Naturally. I need the offsetter anyway. So I need a... we're going to temporarily put special gib target underneath this game object here. And I'm going to go ahead and create a prefab of this. I'm not even going to rename it now. I'm going to call this special gib target for real.
For realsies.
And we're going to get rid of this other one because it's not
play
for real. And the
real
reason I've done this is we're going to go to special gib target. We're going to get rid of this box collider here, remove component. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this in the scene. We don't need it anymore. And then on this node 6, we're going to call this target spawner. And we're going to put gib on collide on here, and then we're going to make the quote-unquote gibs a special gib target for real. And in theory, maybe. I don't know why I just automatically advanced there, but okay. Okay, whatever. Then we shoot this guy. Then we shoot this guy. And in theory, we get here, and it totally didn't work. Oh, it's because... Did I not actually put the collider somewhere? I thought I did put a collider on the player. Yeah, there's a collider there. And default should certainly collide with default, right? Selection, project settings, physics. Yeah, I don't think we've touched this at all in this episode. No, we have not. So yeah, it should collide.
No, we ain't messing with physics right now.
Alright, I'm just going to put a little thing in here which says debug.log doing stuff. Save. Play. Why are we auto-advancing right at the start?
I don't
What
know.
changed to cause that?
I don't know.
Doing stuff.
Wait, it's already doing stuff?
Well, you give on every.
Oh,
target.
yeah, that's right.
So we need to keep track of the number of doing stuffs.
Okay, we're at 4, 5, and it should go to 6 here, and it did not. So if I look at the scene, if we look at the player, this is a massive hack anyway. I'm not really that upset if it doesn't work. We have a box collider. Oh, did we actually call it a trigger? Well, it shouldn't. It should have collided anyway. So we have the player there, and then we have the target spawner. Oh, this doesn't have a collider for some reason. When did that go away? All right, so physics, box collider, is trigger, go. We got this. Wait, did I put that on like the node or something? No. What the fuck? Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah. All right.
Way to call
So,
on this.
yeah, we're gonna be done here in just a second. I just want
See
one
if
more.
this would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
And if it doesn't work, we're gonna call it a night. And if it does work, we're gonna also gonna. All right, so
Hey, look at that.
it did work, but it didn't spawn where we wanted it. But that at least
But at
showed.
least it-
Yeah, at least it did something. It
Yeah.
did something. So the theory works. Yeah, we'll just leave this really messed up state and save it and check that in. So, so yeah, I think that was a pretty good episode. I think that worked out pretty nicely.
I would agree.
Oh, we're gonna have to check in so much stuff. I'm not gonna show that on the show because it has all the extra stuff that we just
Yeah, we
added.
need to
So,
just do that afterwards, I think.
so thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I know that we did. It was great to have everyone here. It's like
Yeah!
the old team's back together again. Not that it's been that long, but like
Thunder Force
feels that way.
5.
And thank you for joining us.
Da-da-da-da-da.
What happened to my head up here?
Da-da-da.
Okay, whatever.
The A-Team?
Yeah.
We can't do
together.
that. We
Yeah.
can't do that.
Da 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 dun dun da. There we go. That's our new B team theme. So
I don't want to be the B team.
thank you for joining us.
I want to be the Z team.
It's the PP team. That
Oh,
sounds
no,
terrible
that
too.
sounds even worse.
But yeah, Pushy Pixels. All right. So, email me pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me @Dracfire. You can support us on Patreon. There's a link in the there's a burger and there's like a
click.
Patreon thing, or you can just look for Cooking with Unity on Patreon. And we appreciate your support. Thank you for watching the show.
You can follow me on Twitter.
Yes.
@MagMalemur. You can
And-
buy my game. Buy my game.
Beat his
Robot
high
Alone.
score.
It's Robot Alone. Beat my high score. It's on the iOS. Beat my high score. I've been telling people to beat my high score for over a year now. Someone please do it. That's all. I humbly ask you, in a forceful tone, to beat my high score.
Give it a shot. It's fun. Anyway,
And donate to us on Patreon.
yeah. You guys have a great night. I'll catch you in the morning with another episode of Breakfast with Unity. And we'll see the whole gang together, hopefully, on Thursday for some Fight Go Right.
Hopefully. We'll see what happens on Thursday.
Thanks for joining us. You have a great one.
Have a good night.